Audio Jungle.
Welcome to Spydur Technologies. My name is Jason, and this is the third video in a series that makes clear some of the terminology you will hear when discussing telephony. And in this video, I'm going to talk about telephone extensions. These videos are all time-stamped and allow you to bounce between chapters for easy viewing. So feel free to skip ahead of this intro. But if you're just joining, I know as a decision maker or a business owner, it can be extremely difficult and sometimes even frustrating to keep track of the many terms being thrown at you when looking for a solution. We are very sympathetic to this challenge and are here to help. The truth is, we can provide many different kinds of solutions that work completely different. But the best solution for you will depend upon your specific application. Typically, what you can expect is that we will first listen to what it is you're looking for, and then we will ask you some questions. And the answers that you give us will provide the direction that we need to configure the best solution for you. But for us to have this good conversation, we need to speak in terms that we both understand. Understanding their meaning is essential to understanding the various solutions being presented to you and how your choices directly affect your recurring expenses. I'm going to oversimplify some of the vocabulary, but it is my hope that at the end of this video, you will have a solid foundation and be more equipped to make a wise business decision as it relates to your communications needs. Keeping with the fundamentals, today I would like to describe what exactly a telephone extension is. And the first question you have to answer is, what is it an extension of? To do this, let me give you an analogy. Think of a computer with a keyboard and mouse. That keyboard and mouse has no intelligence of their own. They are merely extensions of the computer that they are attached to. As a user, you use these devices to interface with the computer itself. Now, imagine a single computer, but with 100 keyboards and mice attached, all providing their own input from multiple users at the same time. And you have a good idea of the relationship between telephone extensions and the telephone systems that they are attached to. In a very literal sense, telephones have no real intelligence of their own. In terms of features and call processing, everything is handled by the telephone system that they are a part of. Instead, what the telephone extension provides is an internal number that we can use for routing calls. These telephone systems can then use these unique extension numbers to provide different services, such as call queuing, music on hold, time-based scheduling and toggles, just to name a few. We can handle extensions as part of larger groups, or we can set individual preferences for different users, so they are each handled in their own unique way. Now, the telephones themselves, which are assigned extension numbers in a telephone system, have actually changed quite dramatically over the many years. And while they cannot provide the features and call processing that only a telephone system can deliver, they do offer significantly more capability and programmability. You can now get LCD color touchscreens with gigabit networking, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth built in. Video phones are also available and often run with the Android operating system, which gives you further ability to tie in apps right on the phone itself. Speaking of apps, you don't even need a physical telephone if you don't want. You can easily load a Softphone app on your computer workstation. And then you can use a wireless Bluetooth headset or USB headset. Now, granted, having a physical telephone is the way to go if you're in a typical office, but for call centers and harsh environments, it's a lot easier and cheaper to just replace headsets. You can also load a Softphone app on your cell phone, laptop, or tablet and enjoy some true mobility. With Softphones, you are not forwarding calls to a cell number over a cellular network, but you are connecting your actual telephone extension over the data connection wherever you go. At the end of the day, your extension is defined by the phone that you're using and the telephone system that it is driving it. Put another way, your telephone is an interface. The way you use your telephone, how it operates, how you place, receive, or transfer calls will never change, regardless of the telephone system it is attached to. This is why we can take Cisco phones from a call manager, Polycom phones from a hosted solution, or Mitel phones at a hotel, put them on a Spyder, and they all continue to work the exact same way. The telephone, as an interface device, doesn't change. Where the confusion usually begins is understanding where the telephone system ends and where the telephone itself begins. All of the call processing, all of the features are provided by the telephone system. But the way your phone works, the way you're used to working, is baked into the plastic of your telephone. When you move from one telephone system to another, it's typically going to be because of cost savings, call features, and the level of support that you receive. The nice thing about being interoperable and non-proprietary is that you can save your investment and reuse the telephones you already have. Another point of confusion is the correlation between telephone extensions and telephone lines. You do not need a telephone line for every extension. Realistically speaking, in a typical office, if you have 100 people working, only 25% of them will be on a call at any given time. This means your 100 telephones only need 25 telephone lines. And this can change depending on your industry. If you are at a hotel property with 100 guest rooms, there may only be 3 or 4 people on the line at the very most. In contrast, you may work at a call center where you have 100 telephone lines calling into just 50 agents, where your outside callers outnumber your agents 2 to 1. One final mention, and that is your recurring expenses are dictated by whoever controls the telephone system. For any typical office environment, your monthly recurring expenses will be significantly less if you pay per telephone line and not per telephone extension. Going back to my first example, there's a big difference between paying for 100 telephone extensions versus only paying for the 25 telephone lines that they're using. Ultimately, the best solution for you will be determined by what it is you're trying to accomplish. Be sure to look for a future video to break down how the telephone service is typically packaged and sold. I understand navigating these waters can be disconcerting and can have some very expensive ramifications that continue on forever with your recurring expenses. But that is why we're here, to make sure you have the very best solution that fits your needs and in the most economical manner possible. So please contact us and let's have that conversation. We would love to help. Thank you.
Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon for notifications of new videos. Thank you from all of us at Spyder Technologies.